So managers, today we are going to be talking about everything counter-attacking in FM. I'll go through understanding the art of counter-attacking with some explanations and some examples, recommendations and tips. And then right at the end of the video, I'll show you guys 3 counter-attacking tactics and play instructions I've been using and testing. So in Football Manager, mastering the counter-attack can be a game changer, allowing your team to turn defense into attack with devastating efficiency. And today's strategies isn't just about quick transitions, it's about understanding the nuances of space, timing, and player roles to exploit opponents' weaknesses effectively. So, as we know, the counter-attack thrives on elements of surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker!
When your opponent commits players forward, they often leave exploitable spaces behind. While intercepting the ball and launching a swift attack, you can catch them off guard, leading to high-quality scoring opportunities. This approach emphasizes quality over quantity, focusing on creating clear-cut chances rather than maintaining a prolonged possession. So to set up an effective counter-attacking system in FM24, start by selecting a formation that provides defensive solidity while offering outlets for quick transitions. I'd recommend formations like the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-3-1, as they are traditionally effective, but modern variations such as the 3-4-2-1 have also proven to be a successful system. For instances, some managers utilize the 3-4-2-1 formation to great effect because this formation has balance between defense and coverage of their attacking potential. Another crucial element of counter-attacking is your player selection. You want to prioritize players with high pace and acceleration for forward positions to exploit spaces quickly, and midfielders with excellent vision and passing abilities can initiate these swift transitions, while defenders with strong positioning and tackling can regain possession effectively. Mental attributes like composure, decision making, and teamwork are also vital, ensuring players remain calm under pressure and make intelligent choices during fast breaks. Another key aspect is patience. You want to encourage your team to maintain their defensive shape, absorbing pressure until the right moment arises. Once possession is won, quick transitions are essential. You want to utilize tactical instructions such as distribute quickly for goalkeepers and pass into space to encourage players to exploit gaps left by the opposition. And when it comes to training drills, focusing on direct passing and attacking movement can further enhance your team's effectiveness in these scenarios. So when do we actually want to play a counter-attacking system? Well, these systems are particularly effective against teams that dominate possession or play with a high defensive line. By sitting deeper and inviting them forward, you create spaces needed for your swift attackers. However, flexibility is essential. Against teams that defend deep, a patient build-up approach might be more effective, requiring you to adjust your tactics accordingly. So historically, teams like Jose Mourinho's Real Madrid have exemplified the potency of counter-attack in football. With players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Angel Di Maria, they utilize rapid transitions to devastating effects, culminating in a record-breaking 100-point La Liga season. In the current football landscape, teams like Bournemouth under Andoni iraola have adapted unique approaches to counter-attacking by employing aggressive pressing and rapid transitions. They have disrupted opponents and created numerous scoring opportunities, showcasing the evolving nature of counter-attacking strategies. So before we get into actually building our counter-attacking formations, let's go through some tips. And the first one being is quick restarts. You're going to want to encourage your team to take quick throw-ins or free kicks to catch opponents off guard and maintain the momentum of counter-attack. For play instructions, we're going to want to set specific play instructions such as asking wingers to stay wide, stretch the play, and forwards to move into channels. This exploits spaces between defenders. And before matches, we're also going to want to quickly analyze opponents' formations and defensive weaknesses. Teams with attacking fullbacks or lack of pace in defense are particularly vulnerable to counterattacks. So by understanding and implementing these principles, you can transform your team into a formidable counter-attacking force in FM. The key lies in balancing defensive resilience and opportunistic attacking, ensuring your team is always ready to capitalize on the opponent's mistakes. So now I guess it's time for the actual tactics. I'm going to show you guys how to set up team tactics using counter-attacking minor tactical approach. The 3 approaches I've used and tested, I've found to have relative success with them. So without further yapping, let's jump straight into it. I just want to take a quick moment to interrupt this video because did you know that 98.5% of you are not subscribed? So what are you doing? Subscribe, it's free, and let's get back to the video. And for the first variation of tactic, we're going to choose a 4-3-3 with the tactical style of a tiki-taka and the attacking mentality to be attacking. And in possession, we're going to want to be fairly wide. We're also going to want to pass into space, focus play down the right and left hand side, a shorter passing directness with a higher tempo. And in the final third, we're going to want low crosses. And for dribbling, we're going to want to run at the defense, and we're also going to want to be more disciplined when it comes to creative freedom. And in transition, we're going to want to counter press, counter attack, distribute quickly, and roll it out, which are all things I feel like we've discussed the reasons for earlier in this video. And moving on to out of possession. Now beware, you might be a little bit confused when you see what I've done, but it's a bit of a Frankenstein mixture of counter-attacking I've been using. And here it is. We're going to want to have a high press line of engagement with a much higher defensive line. And we're going to want to trigger the press much more often, as well as to prevent goalkeeper distribution. We're also going to want to get stuck in when it comes to tackling, step up more for the defensive line, and invite crosses for cross engagement. And when it comes to play instructions, this is what I do. Starting off with the goalkeeper, we're going to want a sweeper keeper on support with the instructions to tackle harder. And in front of him, we're going to want two ball playing defenders on defensive mode to dribble more and tackle harder. And our left back is going to be an inverted fullback on the defensive mode, also with the instructions to run wide with the ball and close down more. And the exact same on the right hand side, only to add the instructions to take more risks. And moving up to midfield, one of my favorite positions is the register on support, with the added instructions to dribble more and tackle harder. And to the right of him is a segundo volante on attack, with the instructions to take more risks, move into channels, and tackle harder. And the exact same for the midfielder on the left hand side. And moving up to our attacking force, starting with our striker, we're going to want an advanced forward on attack to tackle harder. And to the right of him, we're going to want a pressing forward on supported mode, with the instructions to roam from position and stay wider. And to our left sided attacker is another pressing forward on support to roam the position and stay wider. And the second tactic I'm going to show you is a little bit more of a generic counter attack, with the mentality to be cautious. And in possession, we're going to want to have a standard attacking width, and for approach play, we're going to change nothing, leave it as it is. For passing directness, we're going to want to be more direct, with a slightly higher tempo. And in the final third, also nothing changed. We're going to have mixed crosses and select nothing here. Only thing we're going to want to do is play for set pieces. And in transition, it's also very standard. The only thing we're going to choose is to counter-attack and distribute quickly and leave the rest blank. And out of possession, it's a little bit more traditional, with a low block of engagement with a lower defensive line. And we're going to want to trigger the press more often, get stuck in, and drop off more. And for our player roles, it's also quite generic. We're going to want a sweeper keeper with defend, no added instructions. And our first centre back is going to be a central defender on defend, with no added instructions, and to his left hand side is a no-nonsense centre back, also with no added instructions. And our left back is just going to be a standard wing back on automatic, and for right back is going to be a standard full back on automatic. Our holding midfielder is going to be an anchor with no added instructions. And in front of him is going to be a central midfielder on defensive mode with also no added instructions. And rounding off our midfield is going to be a box-to-box midfielder on support, as well as no added instructions. For our attacking force, we have a standard winger on support, and on the left hand side we're going to want an inside forward on support. And rounding off our attack is an advanced forward on attack with no added instructions. This tactic is very basic and should help those teams who are lower in leagues and with less powerful players. And for our third and final counter-attack tactic is a traditional 4-4-2 with, I wouldn't call it some spice, I would call it with some seasoning. You know what I mean? So for mentality, it's again cautious. And in possession, we're going to have a standard attacking width, and again, nothing in the approach play. For passing directness, it's more direct with a slightly higher tempo. And once again, nothing in the final third, only to play for set pieces. And in transition, it's to counter-attack and distribute quickly, exactly the same as our previous tactic. And for out of possession, it's also exactly the same. We have a low block and a lower defensive line, with the press to trigger more often, get stuck in, and drop off more. And for the player instructions, it's pretty much the same, but I'll still go through it. It's a sweeper keeper on defense with no added instructions. It's a central defender on defensive mode with no added instructions. A no-nonsense centre back, once again, no added instructions. And for the left and right back, are both just fullbacks on automatic. And moving to midfield, we're going to want a ball-winning midfielder on defend and a winger on support, as well as a central midfielder on support. And rounding off our midfield is going to be a wide midfielder on support. And as you've noticed, none of these players have added instructions. And moving forward to our front two, this is going to be almost our Brian Mbeumo and Wissa type players. Players that tend to play off each other. So we're going to have a pressing forward on defend, as well as an attacking forward on attack. And that pretty much rounds off all of these counter-attacking tactics. So if you found this video helpful at all, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more football content, and I'll see you all in the next video.